Right lads, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about Bo Nickal and what's next for him in the UFC, because Jesus Christ, he just got destroyed by Rainier the Ritter, just completely outclassed. It was a complete mismatch, and to be honest, I'm not that surprised. I did see Rainier the Ritter winning this fight. Bo Nickal hasn't fought anyone even close to his level, and I mean, he was a double champ over in one championship. I think that speaks for itself. Um, he does kind of have a messy style, Rainier the Ritter. It kind of reminds me of Dricus du Plessis. And I mean, I would love to see that fight in the future. RDR versus Dricus du Plessis, that would be such a funny fight. It'd be so entertaining. So whether it's for the belt or not, I'd love to see that fight sometime in the future. For his next fight, RDR, I think Marvin Vittori or Roman Dolidze makes sense. Someone above him in the rankings anyway. He definitely deserves someone above him in the rankings after beating a really talked about prospect. I did hear rumors that he might be fighting Robert Whitaker, which I mean that's a big step up in competition for him. But I'm down. I'd love to see it. I'm a big fan of Bobby Knuckles. I'm a big fan of RDR, so I'm here for it. So on to Bo Nickal. A lot of people said he got fraud checked in this fight, and while I do understand that he's a high level prospect who's really being pushed by the UFC, and he did just get fucked up by RDR. But RDR is a very high level opponent. He's a very high level fighter, and it was just a huge step up in competition for Bo Nickal. I feel like he was just pushed a bit too soon. I still think Bo Nickal is a great fighter. Like, if you look at his other performances, you can't deny that he's not a great fighter. But I think it was just too much too soon. And I mean, RDR speaks for himself. He's a pretty goofy fighting style, but it works out, you know. Um, and I mean, yeah, he just got pieced up. He needs to learn this isn't just wrestling. This is mixed martial arts, and he needs to work on that striking. I mean, those body shots from RDR were lethal, especially those knees to the body. I mean, that knee to deliver that finished him off was beautifully timed. And yeah, Bo Nickal just clearly wasn't ready for an opponent that good. And I mean, a question that a lot of people are asking after that performance is what's next for Bo Nickal? Because no one's really too sure. A lot of people are telling him to retire, which I think is a bit much. But I was thinking about it a lot, and it is hard to tell when you push someone like that into the rankings when he's clearly not ready for that yet. It's hard to tell who he should fight next. Similar to Peyton Talbot, I know he wasn't fighting in the rankings, but it was just too much too soon for him. It's hard to know what to do with them after that. Um, but I do have a few ideas for Bo Nickal's next opponent, and I think they're very good tests for him. I haven't seen anyone else mention these names for Bo, and I think they'd be very entertaining fights, and they'd be good tests for both of the opponents. So I'll get into them now. So first up, Hamza Chamay. I'm joking. That was a joke. No one wants to see that fight. Yeah, no, Hamza would fuck him up. It was kind of funny that Bo Nickal was calling out Hamza, saying that he'd destroy him. After that performance, it's not looking too likely, buddy. But we'll move on to the actual fights I want to see. Edmond Shabazian. I think this is a great fight for both of these fighters because, in a way, they're in somewhat of similar stages of their career. They were both high level prospects who were talked about a lot. Bo Nickal obviously more than Edmond, but still, nonetheless, both talked about a lot. High level prospects who ended up losing, but they're still there, you know? They're still very good fighters, and I think this would be a great test for both of these fighters. And, I mean, the winner of this fight could then get a shot at the rankings, just maybe not against Rainier the Ritter. But, yeah, I mean, I think this is just a really good matchup. I think it's a fun matchup. I think it'd be an entertaining fight. And I'm not too sure who wins this, to be honest. I mean, Edmund Shabazian clearly has the striking advantage, and Bo Nickal has the wrestling advantage. So it really all depends if Bo can get it to the ground or not. And we did see Edmund Shabazian recently get submitted by Gerald Mearshart, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Bo Nickal get the submission. But nonetheless, it's a good test for both of these fighters. So will the UFC make it? I don't know, but it just came to mind, and I think it'd be a fun fight and a great test for both of these men. And yeah, no, I'd love to see it. Entertaining fight. The next option I had in mind for Bo Nickal was Chris Curtis. I think this is a great test and a great opportunity for Bo Nickal to come back to. Because Chris Curtis is a fighter who was just outside the top 15. He's probably like number 16 or 17. So if Bo Nickal wants to come back and prove himself and get a really big win, Chris Curtis is the man to do it, because he's not going to get a shot in the top 15 after that performance unless he gets a win against another high level opponent, which Chris Curtis is. So I think this would be a great test for both men. Chris Curtis probably wants to get back into that top 15, back to being a top contender. Chris Curtis is almost like a gatekeeper in a way. He was anyway until he got kicked out of the top 15 due to that Kopylov defeat. But yeah, I feel like if Bo Nickal gets through Chris Curtis, he deserves another shot at the top 15, and it would prove that RDR is just levels above a lot of fighters in the middleweight division. And if Bo Nickal can't get through Chris Curtis, then he's going to have to take another step down in competition. Fight a few cans to get his name back in the win column. But yeah, no, this is probably Bo Nickal's biggest test outside of the top 15. So yeah, I'd love to see it, just out of curiosity, just to see how good Bo Nickal actually is and how good RDR actually is compared to Bo Nickal. So yeah, no, it would give us a good idea of where Bo stands in the middleweight division. So I feel like it is a great fight for the UFC to put on. Will they put it on? I'm not too sure. I think they will give Bo Nickal maybe a lower level opponent to get him back in the win column. But yeah, no, nonetheless, I'd love to see the fight. And yeah, they're the only real ideas I have for Bo Nickal at the moment. But yeah, let me know in the comments who you think he should fight next. Overall, I don't think Bo Nickal was fraud checked. I think it was just too much too soon. I think he can come back from this, and he seemed to handle the loss pretty well. I'll give that to him. And yeah, just the UFC has a tendency to push these prospects a bit too much. We saw it with Peyton Talbot. Now we're seeing it with Bo Nickal. I mean, I'm pretty sure, what is it, 22 undefeated UFC fighters lost their O this year, which is an insane stat. But yeah, look, Bo Nickal, he's a great fighter, just not ready for the top 15 yet. I think he's going to take a bit of a break and think about this, train, get better, improve in the striking. And we'll see how he looks when he comes back. I'm very interested to see who the UFC are going to put him up against next. I'd love to see the Edmond or the Chris fight, but who knows? They're probably going to give him a bit of a lower level opponent, but we'll see. But yeah, no, his trash talk definitely didn't end well. I think this has definitely been a humbling experience for him, to say the least. But yeah, he's clearly just not ready for the top 15. He could make to the rankings in 3 or 4 fights, maybe. Well, it depends who he fights next. If he comes and beats Chris Curtis in unbelievable fashion, then they'll probably give him some in the top 15. But for now, he's not ready. We'll see how great he comes back from this. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Bo Nickal was fraud checked? And what do you think is next for him? Who do you think he should fight next? And how well do you think is he going to come back? Yeah, no, let me know what you think. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.